On the morning of November 17th, Mike Reed heads into the deepest part of his farm, the central timber, right in the middle of the core area of his top target buck, Curly.
Well, it's Saturday, November 17th, and we're just before a winter precipitation event. We're supposed to get some rain / sleet / snow here by around 10 o'clock, so actually did a hanging hunt this morning. We came on the south side of my central timber where Curly is. This is Curly's main core area, and he's the buck I've been hunting now for a few weeks, and we had that one encounter with him about 10 days ago. And so I'm hoping he's somewhere in here and either be cruising around looking for another doe, or if he's with the doe, she drags him by us. Hopefully this front pushing through has a deer on their feet. We're going to sit here for a few hours and hopefully Curly shows up. That's the buck we're in here after. That's the buck I call Curly. All of his tines kind of curl in, so that's a deer I've got 3 years of history with, and it's our second encounter with him. As I was mentioning earlier, this is his core area. I've got pictures of him all around this central sanctuary, and he's locked down with the doe, of course, and he's been right there for nearly 30 minutes. And there was another doe and a couple other small bucks, and they haven't moved very much, but they just worked over the hill there. We're going to sit here for a while longer, and if we get lucky, she'll drag him by us.
Mike's morning hunt ends without further excitement. With snow in the forecast, 150 miles to the west, Owen Riegler heads to a redneck blind near a food source. This new spot offers Owen a welcome change of scenery after hunting Uno non-stop for the better part of a week.
I don't know what it is about these conditions, guys, but I just love hunting in the snow and wind and cold. Maybe it's from being from Michigan where we hunted in the snow a lot. I don't know, but I sure love it. Used to just sit, of course, before I could ever even afford to own a blind, I used to sit in tree stands in just crazy cold weather and snow. And it's kind of nice to get in a redneck blind now, though. I'm not gonna make up any stories. It's pretty comfy, but it's November 17th today. And we're hunting one of the best places on earth right here. We've hunted it one other time so far this year. And we're hoping that Trey's still alive. We don't know for sure, but they just finally picked all the corn about a quarter mile from here. So all the corn's off the farm except for what I wanted to leave. So that could have moved some deer around a little bit. So kind of excited to see if any new bucks show up here. We got a few turkeys moving in, some nice toms already, so it's early, like 1:45 or something like that, so we're in here plenty early. It's on a beeline, looks like. Keep her coming this way. Man, if that isn't the most beautiful thing you ever saw right there. Oh my word. He's gorgeous. Look at the mask that dude's got. Chocolate antlers. Man, wasn't that the most awesome thing you ever seen, coming right up through that snow? Gorgeous, chocolate antlered. Whew. Gosh, he had all kinds of mass too. I know that buck, that's picket fence. And if he's not old enough, he's not old enough, that's the rule. So 15 yards, there he went. Primrose path, so still awesome to see him.
Most of the team was hunting on the 17th. Jared Mills was on his river farm, once again looking for the big 10-pointer that only recently started showing up on his cameras. Caleb Byers spends that evening and the next morning looking for a buck named Nemo, despite not having any sightings of the buck since summer. Again, Caleb draws a blank. For the afternoon of November 18th, Caleb decides to play his hole card and heads in after the open country monster he calls Dakota. Caleb's choice for the afternoon is a redneck blind overlooking a patch of standing beans, the only standing food for miles in any direction. Caleb has kept this spot in mind for just this moment. Now, with a fresh layer of snow, the bow hunter hopes this high-quality food source will draw in the giant.
Well, it's November 18th this evening, and we're back in here hunting this buck I call Dakota. So basically, what we're hoping for is that Dakota's either with a doe and she brings him to this standing bean plot, or he's off of a doe and comes to this bean plot to check for does. It's also really cold today. We had snow dump in last night, so these deer could, we seen a buck today that was literally out in the middle of a crop field just eating, a 6.5-year-old buck that we have some history with, and he was just eating. So all of the crops around us are picked and have cattle in them. So we definitely have the most desirable food source by far. We just need this buck to cooperate. He could be a mile away right now looking for does. This is wide open ground. So, we're hoping that the hinge cutting we did in the off season pays off for us tonight. Put a lot of work into this spot with a little luck, and I need a lot of luck. Hopefully I can put something on the ground tonight. No joke, it's him. Are you filming? Just wait, he might come right up here. Probably not though, but if he gets over the hill, we just give him a rattle. We got nothing else to lose. Oh my gosh. Please do it, big boy. Okay. Please come this way. So, with nothing around us to even call,
it is completely open, I don't know.
All buck right ahead of him. Yeah, he's just staying on the draw. Yeah, look.
Oh no, do you
He's running now.
rattle?
Yeah. Gonna try it.
Yeah. It's in front of you. It's in front of you. He's just walking. Alright, he's okay. You got his attention.
Yeah, no. There is nothing here. Oh, it didn't work. That was a dumb idea. That's my number one buck right there, and our game plan was about 100 yards off. Against my better judgment, I rattled to him too, which was not smart. But, you know, being the third time we've seen him, we know he lives right here. We've seen him 3 times within this little area. So we just have to keep after him and hope that, you know, we're probably going to give this spot a rest. Seeing him come out of there would tell you we need to do a hanging on in there, but awesome encounter nonetheless. So hopefully we can end the chapter to him soon. You know, we've only got probably 30 minutes left, I'd say. So before we get a bunch of deer in here, you know, does or small bucks or whatever, we're just gonna get out of here and drive out on the road and maybe try and lay eyes on him, just get an idea of where he's headed.
It's him. Literally right by the road. He ran back into where we're hunting him. So I know we don't want to push him completely out of the area. He's living there. We just need to go back to risk versus reward and see. Awesome to see him again. I mean, deer's an absolute giant, but I would like it a lot more if we could catch up with him.
That same evening, 190 miles to the east, Mike Reed is back in the now famous graveyard set, hoping for another encounter with his number one buck.
Well, Dylan and I are all set up. We're back in the graveyard set after Curly. It is Sunday, November 18th, afternoon hunt. On November 9th, I had Curly come up behind us with a doe. Couldn't get a shot. And then yesterday morning we had him to our west with the doe. This is his core area. So I'm hoping tonight he's either alone and coming out to feed or check this spot for does, or the doe he's with may come out and feed right here. Well, that was our target buck, Curly. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We basically had just finished the interview. And he came about 30 yards inside the lane, just paralleling the lane through the thick stuff. And when I did get a shot at him, the camera couldn't see him, so he got by us. He got a little bit of our wind, and he got a little nervous, and then the wind started blowing more southerly, and he saw some other deer, and he relaxed, and he walked off. So I'm hoping that he comes out in the beans, and maybe after a while, if he calms down, I could do a little call back in the brush here and see if he'll walk back this way. But another close encounter. That's the third encounter with that deer in 9 days. So eventually, it will work out. As expected, it was a great hunt, and that was a really close call on Curly. He ended up coming out in the beans around 4:10, hour and 10 minutes after we saw him the first time. And he was nudging some does around. They went back into the timber, came back out. I tried a little calling, but eventually she got in the timber and they headed off to the east. I could see him in the timber about 200 yards in there, heading to my other bean field. So I got to work the next few days, but we're going to come back down here for Thanksgiving break, and I'll have 4 days to hunt. Hopefully I can catch up with him then.
As we rejoin Troy Sachsenmaier's hunt for Driftwood, there have been some twists and turns in the trail. On the evening of November 17th, Troy missed the buck as he moved quickly past the bowhunter's stand. As disappointing as that was, Troy knew the buck never figured out what happened and would be no wiser for the experience. Now we move forward to November 21st, as Troy sets up in a spot where he believes Driftwood will show up first after dropping his latest doe.
Well, looks like they made a pass for the corn November 21st, and it's gonna be go time here. We're gonna make a big move on Driftwood, drop a set, move a set, see what happens. Well, Cody and I just slipped back in here. We found a cedar tree over here close to my food plot. It's actually about 70 yards from my redneck blind. And one encouraging thing that we found, we pulled the cameras last night, and Driftwood, the day after I shot at him, I was concerned about the type of scare that I gave him. The next morning, I got pictures of him coming back in here, right across this, from my sanctuary back to that doe bedding area. He was definitely after that doe. The thought process is he ended up with that doe. It's been 72 hours since the last sighting. That's 3 days. So hopefully he breaks loose off that doe. We are pretty confident now where he beds. He either beds right there or right over there. When I say right there, I'm talking 80 yards away. You know, nice and hidden in this cedar tree, and with that combine running with all the noise, I feel like this is the night that's gonna happen. It's kind of late. It's almost 3 o'clock. It took us almost 2 hours to hang this set. We got a lot of trimming to do. Our thought process is a lot of the deer movement hasn't happened until after 3 o'clock. Just take our time, be as quiet as possible, and that's exactly what we did. So I think Cody and I are gonna have ourselves a day. I can hear something behind us, Cody. Okay, I'm gonna stand up just in case. I'll watch over here. They're gonna come right here. It's gonna come right here. What do you got? What is it? Is it a doe? It's him. It's him. It's him. It's Driftwood. It's Driftwood. This way, right here. Left to right. Left to right. It's gonna be coming down through. It's about 30 yards to the east. Farther shot was. I arranged that.
Give me some. Yes.
This is unbelievable. What just happened? Cody and I have been on. I've been on this deer. I was trying to talk to Cody before we even got out of the truck, and I said, I don't know how many sits I got. I got 15, 17, 20. I don't know. And I've never, ever hunted right here on the farm, on this hillside. I have my redneck blind 70 yards away, and I have a huge food plot that I always put in up here. And I know from shed hunting this farm, there's a monster trail right here. Walks right out at 22 yards. And we're watching him bedded down, and it used to be my food plot. I think I need to lay his head down, but we're gonna have to review the shot. It might be back just a touch, but with him quartered slightly away, I think he's gonna be a dead deer. We're gonna see if we can get our hands on him. He bedded down right away, and then about 20 minutes later we heard a pretty big crash. I think he tumbled down the hill, so I think this is the moment I've been waiting for, so we're gonna go over and check him out.
Got him? Oh my gosh.
You know, he's a real cool deer. I'm gonna get my hands on him. Finally put my hands on him. Honestly, don't know what to say. This has just been a long season for me, and I mean, you take vacation for this stuff, and you come out here every single day, and I've been hunting the same animal every single day. And the respect you start to get for these animals is unbelievable. And I can't, obviously I'm just very grateful to live in the state of Iowa and have the opportunity to chase these things. You know, this is what November's all about. This quest started out, I think I sat once in mid-October, and I had a ton of daylight movement on this deer. Probably more than any other buck that I ever wanted to chase. Definitely think that this deer was kind of a carbon copy story in my life, and something I'm going to remember forever. And I'm definitely very thankful for Cody. He's back from college, and he put the commitment in to help me. And now we get an opportunity to go out and help him try to film a deer. So for everybody at home, thanks for watching. I couldn't be any happier and just more blessed than the opportunity I'm handed every day.
Troy wasn't the only one hunting on the evening of November 21st. Caleb and Taylor Byers were again hunting the farm where they had hoped to find the ghost-like buck named Nemo. Instead, they encounter a great 8-pointer that Caleb would have gladly shot if the buck had only cooperated and come within bow range. Mike Reed and Caleb Byers keep getting close to mature bucks, just not close enough. Jared Mills and Brad Beaver are buying time until Brad has his precious Iowa tag. But with only a few days left in the month, will there be enough time to fill it? Owen is losing hope of finding back the huge typical he missed 10 days earlier, and I am finally regaining the urge to hunt. The drama continues to build as the second peak of the rut is upon us. In many states, bow hunters never realize that buck movement peaks twice in November, once around the 7th or 8th, and again around the 22nd or 23rd, as the number of does and estrus continues to decline rapidly. The hunters don't see this because the behavior is swamped by human activity in the form of the general firearms season. We see it here in Iowa, though, where the entire month of November is bow only. Granted, this second peak is nowhere near as intense as the first one, but it is significant enough to produce some of the best mature buck action of the season. I've seen it several times. We all have. Now we have one last chance to grab the gold ring. Just 10 more days of chasing November.